This is Eagle News for Tuesday, February 16, 2021. I'm Chris Wright in Washington. A Democratic congressman from New York called for a full investigation into Governor Andrew Cuomo's decision to send COVID patients into nursing homes. Over 9,000 people died after that decision. Democratic lawmakers in New York State criticized Governor Andrew Cuomo's explanation that he prioritized the Justice Department's request over theirs for information on COVID-related deaths at nursing homes. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced plans for an independent 9/11-style commission to investigate the January 6th disturbance at the U.S. Capitol building. A rocket attack by a militia backed by the Islamic Republic of Iran killed a U.S. contractor and wounded a U.S. service member in Iraq. A court in Bangladesh sentenced 5 men to death and another to life in prison for hacking a secular blogger to death in 2015. The attackers were from the group Ansar al-Islam. Those are the top stories, details in the links below. Now for the Daily Skirmish. 2 days ago, Joe Biden called on Congress to enact stricter gun laws, including more background checks, bans on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, and new legal liability for gun manufacturers. White House officials have indicated Biden is prepared to use executive orders if Congress does not act. Now is a good time to review why we have the right to bear arms in this country. It's not for self-defense, which is the direction the Supreme Court has gone in upholding the Second Amendment. We have gun rights so we citizens can defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. If we ever had a Hitler, we could stop him. The citizens are the last safeguard of liberty in the country. There's no denying governments can go bad. The Nazis used gun control to disarm and repress their political enemies and the Jews, who were rendered defenseless. Once they were defenseless, it was relatively easy to stick 6 million Jews into ovens. Confiscating guns was how 25,000 Soviets were able to subdue 25 million Ukrainians. After Ukrainians gave up their guns, 7 to 10 million of them ended up dead in the Holodomor, the deliberate Soviet-engineered famine of 1932. Joseph Stalin wanted to industrialize Russia. Stealing all the grain from the Ukrainians and selling it on the international market was how he financed it. And it was all made possible because the citizens complied with gun control and gave up their guns. In all, 130 million people in Europe and Asia were killed in their own countries in the last century, mostly by their own governments that had gone bad. We also have examples from our own history. British troops conducted warrantless searches and seized arms in Boston in 1774. The following year, Bostonians were ordered to turn in their guns for supposedly temporary safekeeping, but the guns were never returned. In addition, King George banned the import of guns into the American colonies. There has been tyranny on the North American continent before, and no one can say with certainty it will never happen again. But there's a more fundamental reason we have gun rights that goes straight to the heart of the American theory of governance. We are born with all our rights, including free speech and the right to bear arms. Our rights either come from God or nature, depending on your personal beliefs. But the point is, our rights don't come from government. In fact, the true role of government is to protect our individual rights, not take them away. No doubt the real reasons we have gun rights will come as news to some of you. This is because the philosophical foundation of the country has been deliberately stripped away through the public schools and other means. This has been done by the authoritarian left, which one day hopes to seize the state, institute one-party rule, take away your rights, and control every aspect of your life. All the more reason to educate ourselves about our rights, guard them as if they were precious because they are, and not give them up willingly. And that includes the Second Amendment right to bear arms. The authoritarian left wants all my freedom, so I'm not willing to give them any of it. They criticize people like me for not being willing to compromise. I won't compromise because compromise always only goes one way. More power for them, fewer rights for me. What's wrong, they ask, with universal background checks or a gun registry? What's wrong is they won't stop there, just ask them. They intend to salami slice your rights away until you have none left. No thanks, Democrats. You can forget it. See you next time. I'm Chris Wright in Washington.